Good morning and welcome back to another episode of TNTV. I'm your host Billy, coach of the Nottingham Forest Curse, and today we're here with our ICP Week 5 battle up against Trexo, who's coach of the Portland Timburrs. Trexo is currently running the ICP while Seth has taken a step back this season. We did play Trexo in the off-season showdown league, which I believe we won. But yeah, very different game and a very scary matchup. So as always, there's our team, there's his team. Rabombi is a very fast problem. My steel type doesn't resist fairy, and because it's part of dragon and it's got piss poor spadaf. I've got Magmar, which resists its dual stabs. I've got Wheezing, which resists its dual stabs. I think poison resists bug. I'm not entirely sure, but it gets psychic anyway, so that's not really an answer. Next Pokemon, Inteleon, which is a massive problem. If my check to this thing goes down, this thing can really run through if it's Specs or Scarf. If it's to come, I expect it to be a Spec set. Cobalion was his first round pick, and he's showing why he's done very well with Cobalion. It's actually at this point in time joint kill leader with Glaring Articuno. They're both sat at 7, I believe, I believe they're both sat at 7, or it might be 6 for Cobalion, 7 for Glaring Articuno. Either way, it's a close race for them to going for the MVP of the season. He brings setup with it a lot, so that's something I have to watch out for. Meowstic, I don't really see it coming. Gorgeist, I can see it coming. I could see it coming as a defensive check, or I could see it coming as a like an offensive version. Offensively, Ghost and Grass is really difficult for the team I'm bringing to switch into. Rotom Fan, I expect to come as another potential switch into Heracross, with Default, Pain Split, Volt Switch, Air Slash, Willow, 4 of those 5 moves. Vullaby, I don't see coming. Dragalge, that's tough for me to switch into. If it's modest specs, adaptability Dracos, unless I'm not really switching, because obviously my Whimsicott, which is immune to that, and get bopped by the poison stab. So something to watch out for there. Gastrodon could potentially come. If it comes, I think it comes more as probably a mixed defensive wall. Like Recover and Scold, whatever. Colossal, not entirely, don't really see it coming. Snorlax is a Snorlax, so you always got to prepare for a Snorlax, whether I think it's coming or not. And same with Greedent, really, but I feel like if you prepare for a Snorlax, you're prepared for a Greedent. Let's get into the team. So last week I made the mistake of not bringing Heracross, and I certainly paid for it because I got fucked by Steel type. So of course this week we are bringing Heracross with Mega Horn, Close Combat, Facade, Knockoff, Adamant, Max Attack. Not fucking about this week with it. Flame Orb, Guts. We're here to take KOs. We've got enough speed for a timid Dragalge and a slightly invested Rotom Fan. Trexo has quite a big drop in speed. He's got 86 in Rotom Fan all the way down to Vullaby. And I don't expect Vullaby to come, so I only really need to speed creep a Dragalge, and I can put the rest in bulk. I do always live a Moonblast from a Rabombi, unless it's like specs, but it's fairly bulky, but this thing just absolutely shreds his slower core, so depending on the Gorgeist size, we'll outspeed that, and unless it's Coldberry, fuck it up with a knockoff, but then again, no matter what its set is, Mega Horn will always 2-hit KO it. Dragalge, we do a shit ton with Facade. We don't OHKO, but it's not a switch in. Gastrodon, we 2-hit KO. Colossal 2-hit KO, Snorlax OHKO, Greedent OHKO. So this thing, if I can bring it in on the right Pokemon, it's going to take a KO pretty much every time. Next up we have the kill leader, Q the Coastal Recon, U-Turn, Freezing Glare, Future Sight, and Hurricane. Not going to lie, I was not expecting this thing to be our kill leader. I fully expected Heracross, but this thing has been putting in the absolute work. We're going heavy duty boots this week because I really want to be able to pivot with this thing, and I don't want to have to worry about Stealth Rocks. Future Sight is fantastic just for, if I can get a Future Sight off and then eventually get into Heracross as the Future Sight hits, there isn't a switch in, I'll always take a KO. What's the speed for? The speed is for the Rotom Fan. Let's have a look. Yeah, they don't really have the best Psychic switch-ins because their Steel type is neutral to it. Their Psychic type is a Meowstic, and their Dark type is a Vullaby. So I think Freezing Glare and Future Sight is going to be really free this game. But yeah, it's mainly just kind of an offensive special breaker this game to help with Heracross. His best checks to this are like the Snorlax and Colossal, really. So if I predict one of them coming in, click U-turn, I get to Heracross, and I'll probably take a KO. Next up, this is our win con for the game actually. It's Sand Slash. We've got max attack, Adamant, enough speed to outspeed Modest Dragalge outside of the sand, and with the sand up, will outspeed Rabombi. So this is basically our endgame win con. Earthquake, Stone Edge, Knockoff, and Rapid Spin are really solid moves this game. We have got Heavy Duty Boots, that's in case the Rabombi gets up the webs. We don't want to be slowed down. With the sand up, we still want to make sure we outspeed everything. Getting Rapid Spins off are nice anyway, just for the rest of my team. We don't want Heracross under webs or anything, or other Pokemon we've got. So Earthquake, Stone Edge, Knockoff. Earthquake will bop quite a few things. It's not the kind of Pokemon that comes in and just OHKO something, but it's the Pokemon that comes in when everything's a bit chipped down in the end game and hopefully sweeps. So that's the goal with Sand Slash this game. Next up, we have Dr. Slack in the Whimsicott with the leftovers, U-turn, Tailwind, Encore, and Giga Drain. So no Fairy Stab this week, which is a bit unfortunate. I did want Fairy Stab this week because his Poison type takes it neutrally and his Steel type takes it neutrally. Colossal's the only thing that resists on his team, the Fairy Stab. But in the end, I decided just in case Gastrodon comes and it starts being really annoying, I'd rather have the Giga Drain there. This thing's main here to be a encore the likes of Rabombi into Quiver Dance or Sticky Webs, or Cobalion into Swords Dance or Rock Polish or Iron Defense, whatever setup he wants to go for this week. And then Tailwind is there just because, again, Heracross looks absolutely fantastic this game, and the thing that lets it down against some of the Pokemon like Rabombi and Cobalion is its speed. So if I can get Tailwind up and get Heracross in safely, it's gonna hurt. It's gonna hurt. Quite bulky this week. We've don't really need Whimsicott to be doing much damage this week. It's purely just here to pivot around and be a bit of a nuisance for Trexo. Next up, we have I forgot to nickname Vaporeon. Under the radar, the Vaporeon, Toxic, Flip Turn, Wish, and Ice Beam. So Toxic is there for the Gastrodon. It means that it can't completely wall me. We've got 0 IVs in speed, and that's so we can underspeed Modest Dragalge. And the reason I want to underspeed it is because Vaporeon is one of the best things I have that can take a hit from it. So I'd rather let Vaporeon take the hit, get the slow flip turn off, and go into something that really pressures the Dragalge, like if there's a bit of chip on it, like Heracross or Galarian Articuno. Both of them pressure it really well, and like I said, there are breakers for this game. So that's the plan. Or I can obviously go into Sand Slash and click EQ. We've got enough defense investment there, so we're not too echoed by Cobalion's close combat after rocks, if it's Jolly. And we're not 3 echoed by, I don't think we're 3 echoed by Modest Dragalge. Yes, unless it's Specs, we're not 3 echoed by Modest Dragalge Draco. Now then, this next set. So I'm going to spoil for you now. Me and Trexo have already played this game. And we had a disconnect, and we went from we were obviously playing on Wi-Fi, and the disconnect happened pretty early on, but we decided in the end to just get to Showdown, so we went on to Showdown. Now, I genned this team at the start of the week, and we played on Sunday. So yeah, I genned this I think on the Monday or Tuesday, played on the Sunday. Now, after I genned it at some point, I decided I'm going to take Passion Berry off and change it to Leftovers. Now the problem is I never changed it on Showdown. So when we went back, when we decided to, for the recreate, we decided to play on Showdown, I didn't change my item back. So I was playing with Gigalith with the wrong item. But we'll get into the battle, and like I said, it's going to be on Showdown, and it's going to be a post-com. And I explain, if it comes into play, and I'll explain at the time what happens, but at the end of the day, Stealth Rock, Rock Slide, Toxic, and Explosion. Toxic is for the fast switchings like Gorgeist or Colossal or Gastrodon or Snorlax if it wants switching, if it's not immunity. Explosion, because like I said, Sand Slash is our win con, so I want to bring this thing in, click Explosion, so I can guarantee 4 turns of sand with the Sand Slash. And Stealth Rock's are just a nice little bit of chip. But yeah, with that, we're going to get on into the post-com, and I will see you there in just a moment. Right, here we are, time for the battle. So as you can see, Trexo did bring the Snorlax, he brought the Cobalion, he brought the Rabombi, the Golgeist, the Dragouge, and the Rotom Fan. So look at the matchup. I wasn't entirely sure what he could lead. I thought he might lead Rabombi, he might lead Dragouge, or Cobalion, and I thought a good lead for any of them would be for my with Vaporeon. As he does lead the Dragouge and gets up T-Spikes straight away. Everyone bringing bloody T-Spikes against me, I don't like it. So we're going to get the slow flip turn off here, go into Q, and pressure something. So I want to see what his switch is here to what his answer is to Q. So I'm going to click Future Sight, see what his answer to that is. And then I'm just going to U-turn out. And not entirely sure what this thing wants to go for, but I thought Heracross is a pretty good, play to go into here. We can just, we'll take the T-Spike, so we won't get a Flame Orb off again. I think that's the second time this season Heracross has not got his Flame Orb off because of a bloody T-Spike. But he makes the read and he goes for the Zen Headbutt. Does a lot of damage. I know it's super effective, but for a Snorlax that still does a lot of damage. Now here, I know that there's multiple things he can go into here. I want to see his answer is. I know that you can go into Golgeist. But I still click Close Combat because, again, I wanted to see what his answer to this was. And yeah, afterwards it takes the Future Sight. So this thing's definitely not switching anymore. Now I'm a little bit worried about Shadow Sneak here. So I switch out into Dr. Slacking just in case it's Shadow Sneak. And he does show the Shadow Sneak, which makes sense. Now during the Wi-Fi battle, I actually get a crit on this U-turn, which doesn't really matter. It doesn't affect anything as I just go into Vaporeon knowing that he's not going to click a Grass move on this. He's going to click the Poltergeist, and then I know that we can live. So I'm then going to double out again, this time into Whimsicott, taking the Power Whip, because like I said, during the Wi-Fi he was in range of a Giga Drain here. So here I do just click Giga Drain. Like I said, during the Wi-Fi game it takes him out, but it doesn't here. So instead of clicking Shadow Sneak again, he just clicks I think he just clicked like Will-O-Wisp, knowing that just let me get the KO. I think it made a little bit of difference on our poison damage, but it doesn't really matter. I'm not living anything at this point of health anyway, so it's fine. So who does he go into on this? He goes into Rabombi, so I'm just going to get the hell out of here. I think Whimsicott's worth saving. I've got Gigalith here. This is my main check to Rabombi. And he just goes for Moonblast. He's not getting his webs up yet, if that's what it is. That damage showed me he wasn't spec, so that's not something that I had to worry about. Now here I just go for Stealth Rock, expecting him to switch out, but he does decide, well, he reads my Stealth Rocks and gets up his webs. A little bit annoying, but I can get rid of them later, and Rocks are really nice at this point for chipping down his team. So knowing, he might switch here on the, so let me pause this, on the Gigalith, I thought, what could he switch into? He could go into Cobalion, which I don't want to let him free. So I do just go into the Articuno, just in case he went to Cobalion, just so I can pressure it with a Freezing Glare or another Future Sight. But he actually clicked the U-turn, saw that we were going into Q, and he goes into Snorlax. I can't go hard into Heracross here, so I'm actually going to click U-turn again, get the hell out of there, and I believe I go into Sand Slash. I go into Sand Slash, not affected by the T-Spikes or the webs. He clicks Darkest Lariat, and this gives me a free Rapid Spin because there is no Ghost type on his team anymore. Golgeist has gone down, so I'm going to click Rapid Spin as he goes into Rotom. He does reveal Boots, does a good amount of damage, puts him at 80%. Now depending on his set, Stone Edge won't kill here, plus I lost the sand, so I did not want to risk like a Will-O-Wisp. I know very well you could go for Defog here, but I didn't want to risk a Willow. Like I said, Sand Slash is our win con, so I switch out into Gigalith, get my sand back up, knowing I can take anything from this, and because of T-Spikes, he can't Willow me. But he does just click Air Slash for a little bit of damage, which is absolutely fine by me. Gigalith is a little bit weakened, which is a little bit scary for the Rabombi, but this turn, knowing he's not going to click the Willow because I was poisoned on Gigalith, I can switch out into Sand Slash. I can take the Air Slash pretty well. As he actually goes to the Defog, which is fine because now I can just click Stone Edge. This thing is in range, unless it was like max HP, max Fizz Def, but if it was just max HP, it was definitely in range of a Stone Edge. So yeah, we take down the Rotom, he's now got no more hazard removal, so if we can get rid of the can get rocks up, then they're here to stay. Now here he's just wasting turns of my sand, so he goes into Rabombi to bait the Stone Edge, and then hard switches into Gabalion, which like 4 times resists it, so which is fine. I know he's just wearing turns down of my sand, but if I can keep him switching, that's absolutely fine by me at this point. I know Sandslash can live any hit from these Pokemon, so I'm happy to just stay in, click what, and just hit what's in front of me. But yeah, there we go. So down goes the sand, and now I decide, right, I'm not staying in here. So I go into Vaporeon, because at this point in the game I was thinking, right, Heracross, if I can get, let me just pause it, if I can get Heracross in on a Wish, so for example, if I can click Wish and then flip turn into Heracross and get it back healthy, and then preserve it and sack Whimsicott as I get a Tailwind up, then Heracross just looks fantastic here. I mean, I need a little bit of chip on the Juggalge for Facade to KO, Rabombi dies to a Facade, Gabalion dies to a close combat, and Snorlax dies to a close combat. So all that's going through my mind here is get Heracross healthy and get Tailwind up. So this turn I am just going to click Wish, I believe. Let's have a look, as I think he just clicks Swords Dance. Yeah, he does. He just clicks Swords Dance in my face, which is pretty scary. So I click Wish, and then I think I flip turn. Yes, I do. I flip turn here because I know that if he KOs me, I'll lose my Wish, which is fine. But then I'll just go into Whimsicott and then just click Tailwind, and even though Heracross will take, you know, it won't get healed back up, at least I can pressure this Gabalion massively. So, but luckily for me, he does just click SD again. As I click Flip Turn, now I did debate going into Whimsicott here and encoring, but I thought no, go into Heracross, get that Wish back, and then as he goes to KO me, go back into Vaporeon, because I don't need Vaporeon anymore. Looking at his team, don't need it. So I sack off Vaporeon, let the Gabalion take me out, and now I go into Whimsicott, because I know that I can get Tailwind up, and he can't set up on me, because if he sets up on me, I'll just encore him into the setup move. So he's forced to KO me here as I get my Prankster Tailwind. He KOs me, but I've got 3 turns of Tailwind now with Heracross, which is exactly what I wanted. I'm going to click Close Combat as he actually reveals to be the Chopper Berry. We get a crit and we KO. Depending on his investment, the crit didn't matter. I don't know, I didn't ask for his investment after the game. During the game, I didn't actually notice that was a crit actually, so yeah. But we do take it out. Now he goes into Juggalge. And this is a tough play here. So I can't KO with a Facade. So it's, do I go into something else and sack it, bring in Gigalith, and go for the Sand Sweep? But the problem was I didn't have enough damage on the Snorlax at this point. I don't think I might have done. What was Snorlax at this point? It was at 50%, so potentially, but I wanted a little bit more chip on the Snorlax before I went for that Sand Endgame. So here I just go into the Articuno, knowing that I can actually take any hit because I know it's not Specs, as he goes for the Sludge Wave, which does a lot. Actually Draco would have KO'd, but I didn't see him clicking Draco there. Now he calls me to go for the Future Sight here, Stayos and KOs me, so a bit unfortunate that we didn't just click Freezing Glare there, because if we clicked Freezing Glare there, which I think I should have done, I would have KO'd here with a Facade. But unfortunately he does just live on 3%, and now he clicks the Draco to make sure he KOs my Heracross. But now this thing's at -2, so here I'm debating, do I go into Sandslash and KO this thing, and then as he brings in something else, I then sack Gigalith, and then go back in Sandslash, or do I go into Gigalith here, and click Explosion, and then get my 4 turns with Sandslash. In the end I decided to go with Gigalith. Now this is where the whole, if you skip the team builder, during the Wi-Fi game, I had leftovers on my Gigalith, because when I genned it, I had Pasho Berry. I was Pasho Berry my original build, but at some point during the week, I changed it to leftovers, and I forgot I changed it to leftovers. When I was playing the Wi-Fi game, for some reason, I just thought I was always left. Excuse me, I was always leftovers. So when we switched to Wi-Fi, to Showdown, I didn't think to check my items, because I couldn't remember making the change, but clearly I did. And as soon as I saw it, I was like, I knew that. I remember building it with Pasho Berry because of the Inteleon. Yeah, Pasho Berry was there, so I could live a hit from like Specs Inteleon and like try and catch it off guard. But obviously, it didn't bring Inteleon, so there was literally no reason for me to be Pasho Berry. So it was just a oversight on my end. It was a fuck up. I didn't see it. It certainly wasn't intentional or anything like that, because again, there's no intent on, there was no reason for me to be Pasha Berry this game. Leftovers was 100% the play with the team that he brought, but unfortunately at this moment in time, I'm Pasha Berry. Now the reason we find that out is because he goes for flip turn and my Pasha Berry procs, which, so here we go, let me talk, right, play it out, we go for Stealth Rocks here, Snorlax takes the future sight, and then we go down to 18%. And as you can see, we click Explosion. So if we weren't Pasha Berry, that flip turn, which did 7%, would have done 14%, which means I'd have 7% less health than I do now, which means I'd be at 11% health. And as you can see, I did outspeed the Snorlax. So I'd still live the flip turn. I'd be at 11% here. I'd still outspeed the Snorlax, and I clicked Explosion anyway, so I die. So me having the wrong item, if it didn't make a difference. If anything, through the course of the game, I probably ended up with less health being Pasha Berry, because I would have got leftovers during the game, and because it was only doing 14%, I would have got an extra turn or two of leftovers earlier on in the game. So yeah, fuck up, but it is what it is. We'll finish the game and then we'll discuss what happens because of that. So I'll go into Sand Slash here with my 3 turns, knowing it's going to be hopefully enough to win this game, as he goes into Juggalo to waste turn of sand, which he does. Yeah, waste turn of sand. So boom, dice to rocks. In comes the Rabombi. Now my play here was, as you can see, I clicked Stone Edge, but what I was thinking here was I can either, I don't think this thing can KO me, so I can either go for Earthquake twice, knowing it'll KO, or I can click Stone Edge and twice and hope one of them hits, because if one of them hits, this thing dies. In the end, I decided, fuck it, I'm going to risk the biscuit. I'm going to go for Stone Edge, and as you can see, we did hit and we do get the KO, so we do win 1-0. Now, after the game, me and Trexo were talking about the battle, and that's when he informed me, like, dude, you changed your items, so, you know. And I was like, oh, okay, shit, my bad. But it didn't affect the outcome of the game. In the end, we decided to put it to the admins and say, look, this is what happened. I fucked up. I brought the wrong item on the recreate, but watch the replay. You can see it made no difference to the outcome of the game. The admins voted on it and they agreed to give us the win. So we didn't have to forfeit that game because of our little fuck up. We do still take the 1-0 win. Lesson certainly learned. I do believe this is the first time I've gone from Wi-Fi to Showdown for a recreate. So yeah, lesson learned. Make sure to double check my items before going into that. So to Trexo, I am so sorry for that fuck up. It's completely my bad. Lesson learned, and I will make sure it doesn't happen again in the future. But yeah, please go check out Trexo. He's a great human being. He was very understanding regarding the situation. End of the day, I broke the rules, and so it had to go to an admin vote. And personally, I'm happy with. Well, of course, I'm happy with the decision they came to, and I think it was the right decision because it didn't make a difference to any of the. It didn't make a difference to the outcome of the game. So with this, we do go 4-1. But yeah, as I was saying, go check out Trexo. Wonderful human being, and like I said, very understanding. So go check out Trexo. And yeah, with that we move to 4-1, which in a 12-man league with 8 playoff spots, 4 wins should hopefully be enough to get us into playoffs. Well, nobody at this point in time is actually mathematically out of getting playoffs. Everybody can still make it. But I'm hoping with the 4 wins, then we should hopefully be enough. Our differential isn't very great. It isn't very good. So I feel much better because 5 wins would definitely mean we got playoffs. So 1 more win and we should be in playoffs. But anyway, with that, hope you enjoyed. Sorry this was a post-com. The reason being post-com is just because the whole disconnect and then the whole issue with the wrong item completely threw me, and my previous commentary was fucking shit. So yeah. Yeah, that's it really. I'll see you next week in week 6 when we go up against none other than Sir Jorge the Great. So I'll see you all then. Bye bye.